Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Jenga Njeru. Now, today we have the Matchmaker show, and you understand the protocol here. Any other time, we have a man on board, the man is looking for a woman, and when we have a woman, the woman is looking for a man. Today, we are having a man, and I'll be telling you the kind of woman he is looking for. But before then, if you're watching us for the very first time, this is the Matchmaker show. We help men and women to get matches, and the moment they get the right ones, they meet their destinies. So you're not lost. If you're new to the show, subscribe, like the video, and don't forget to leave a comment. Also, the contacts of our guest will be on my Facebook page at Jenganjero. So you can follow Jenganjero on Facebook and you'll be getting this update in real time. Our guest on today's show is a 55-year-old man, single and searching. Again, you could be asking yourself, why is he single at the age of 55? What kind of a woman is he looking for? And things like that. And the moment we begin to answer those questions, that is the moment you either develop interest or lack of it. So I want you to stay tuned so that if this is a guest that you would resonate with, you will just go to Facebook, Jenganjero, on the stories section, you pick his contacts, and the rest will be history. Because after you contact him, who knows, maybe you will end up being the candidate of choice. Now, Mr. Moses is very well known by builders in Nakuru. Most people who manage properties, most people who are doing building construction know Mr. Moses, and they call him Engineer Mose. He has built his name around the very venture of building construction and management of property. So there are houses and homes managed by him and his company. I'm not going to mention the company name and the name of because the idea here is not to market the business or to even make people know exactly where he is working for purposes of intrusion and privacy. So I'll skip that and just let you know the basics, because if you want to know the details, you'll just contact him and he will gladly share the details with you. Mose Engineer or Engineer Mose is not a graduate per se. He's not a man that you can say, oh, he has a degree, a bachelor's degree, he has master's, he has a bachelor's degree in building construction, in maybe civil engineering, building construction, maybe mechanical engineering. He cannot boast of that. But his experience over time, he began as a foreman. He is a man who has risen through ranks. He's a man who has built a name for himself through experience, goodwill, integrity, and all that. You want to know why is he single at the age of 55 and what kind of a woman is he looking for? Number one, he is single for the last 6 years by the reason of widowhood. He lost his wife 6 years ago, and it's not been a very easy journey for him. So the year 2019, he lost his wife, and it's not been a very, very, very easy journey for him. But through grace and accepting the results, he has been able to move on. Nobody gets to heal completely, especially after you have lost a loved one. But you see, it reaches a time when you will have to accept reality that, you know what, this person is never coming back again. This person is never coming back. And when you reach that point, it is a very important journey. And towards that milestone, you begin now to rebuild. You begin to start a newness, a new chapter in life. And that is exactly what Mr. Muturi Moses is doing. Double M is a man who is very serious. And that is why he has put his profile out there, because he says even the Bible allows him to look for a wife, especially after he has lost his through death. And, you know, even in marriage, they say, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, in good times and in not so good times, till death do us part. So until death do people part, then they are obliged to stay with one another, stick by. And in the case of death, then one can heal and decide to move on or not to move on. Because we have also seen people who never moved on. There are people who, in fact, have interviewed so many people who are yet to accept reality, and they don't think they can ever find somebody who can love them in just the same way that their late spouses used to love them. And to the people who are listening, or to the people who are watching, if you've lost a spouse, maybe sooner or even before in the past, may God heal your hearts, because we might not necessarily know how you feel, but at least we know it is not very easy. Only the grace of God, the God of heaven, is the only one who can give you sufficient grace to overcome. You know, now Mr. Muturi is looking for somebody who is specifically widowed. So if you're watching this video to this point and probably you happen to be widowed and you feel like Mr. Double M or Engineer Mose is a very good candidate or is a candidate who you can match, then you will be free to contact him. At the same time, he's looking for a woman who can also get a child, and a woman who can get a child because they only had one child and the girl is now married. There is a difference between when you get a girl and when you get a boy. I will explain. When you get a girl and she gets married, she is your daughter, yes, but she is now, especially if they are getting along very well with the husband and the family now, you become like a stranger. Even when she visits you, it's via permission. You know, when she visits you with the children and all that, you feel like now this is a this is a strange thing. The daughter you used to go and see at home is now married, and they have to come, through a kind of protocol. They only come on Decembers. They show up. They don't come every time because she is in a new authority. She is in the hands of another man, and those hands are safe. So you feel like you would want to bond with somebody else at the expense of maybe what you had and experienced in the past. So they had one daughter who is now married. You see, he's 55. Most people who have children at the age of 55 can tell you at some point that right now, some of their children, especially their firstborns, are either working, done with school, married, and maybe they have children. And that is a blessing. So Mr. Damoem would really appreciate if he can get a woman who will bear him children and a woman who is serious. He is a Kikuyu. Moturi is a Kikuyu. And originally they come from, in fact, he was born in Uasin Gishu County. Uasin Gishu County. And Eldoret is more famous than Uasin Gishu. And I think even they should consider changing the name to Eldoret County, because Eldoret County is a city within the county of Uasin Gishu. So you can imagine, it is the way you see how Dubai is more famous, or Dubai is more famous than the capital city. The capital city of Dubai, of that country. That country is called the United Arab Emirates. You see, but if you tell people, I'm in UAE, United Arab Emirates, the person will be where? They might be having an idea that the country is in the Gulf. They might be having an idea that the country is somewhere in the Middle East, but they don't know where. But if you mention Dubai, in fact, Dubai is one of the dream destinations of most people who love touring and traveling. But you see, now Dubai happens to be a city more expensive, and even more famous than the country. And the capital city is Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is also not as am I getting the word expensive? It's not as famous as Dubai. So you know what I mean. He comes from Eldoret. He was born and raised in Eldoret, and he's a man who has been raised in a very cosmopolitan community, and that community is also very, 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 very liberal, a community that accommodates most people, and he has set businesses there. They've worked, he's built a home there, and he also has a home in Nakuru County, Nakuru City, in the city. Now, if you're looking for a man who could probably be a good man, he says that he has kept himself well. You can see him in the photos. He says that he has been able to take good care of himself. If you feel that this is a candidate you would be interested in, if you feel that this is a candidate that can give you the vibe of a husband, if you feel that this is and he says that that woman should not exceed the age of 40. He's arguing that, yes, there are women who can give birth post 40, but he's arguing that it's very dangerous. And speaking from experience, because that is what happened to his late wife, you can imagine. you know. And he has a thing for younger women. So if you are his age mate, maybe this is a pass. If you're 50, this is a pass. If you're even 41, this one is a pass. So this one you don't dare unless you are 40 and below, and then you're willing to get more children. He has a daughter, and therefore that person has to get a daughter. If you have a son, this will be a deal breaker. He says that he doesn't know how to raise boys. He has never had a boy, and therefore he will not want to train himself how to raise a boy using another person's child. So if they will get a boy, it is his son, and that's it. So if you have a son, maybe you can wait for the next candidate, because this one will not be an ideal match for you. At the same time, if you have a daughter, one child maximum, 35 people in the year 30s get an age of advantage. 40 not very much, according to him, because he wants to leave a good legacy, and he wants to transfer what we call transgenerational transfer of influence. He wants to teach his son how he does his work and all that. I'm wishing him well. I hope he gets a good match. And from our desk, even if you like to be featured just like him, you can contact us on the numbers you're seeing on the screen, +254 712 997 660 or 0712 997 660. Until then, this is Jenga Njeru. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe.